that, anything can happen. It can be complete anarchy, and sometimes you can't hear Matt, and sometimes you can't hear me. But hopefully we got it right this time.
I don't know why the program chooses to do that, where when you do an update, it decides to like change all your settings, and you have to go back, and if you miss one thing, it leads to something like this.
Well, I'm glad we finally worked it out, everyone, so we don't have to do a ventriloquist show this week where just one of us talks and we have to, do the voice.
Also, I'm probably going to leave that all in the edit.
Sure, why not? It'll be funnier that way. This is why you need to watch the show live, everybody, every week. If you're just watching on YouTube or on Patreon later, you're really only getting half the show. It's the anarchy that makes it the most fun.
Yeah, people saying they can hear us all. That's good. That's
good. It's alive. It's alive. Thank you, Winford and Marvel Knight and Nicholas and everyone else who stuck around for us. We appreciate that one. So yes, this is the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. See, you didn't think you were going to get an intro, but you're getting an intro. One way or another. Contractually obligated, you will get an intro. Yes. As always, I am your host, Joel. Joining me, as always, is my stalwart companion in podcasting crime, Matt.
How you going, Joel?
Oh, much better this week. I know my health has been a big thing across the board, but I promise I'm getting better, getting stronger every day. Eating my multivitamins, brother.
Yeah, passing those kidney stones.
God damn it, man. No, actually, they were too big. I had to see a urologist. That's how fucked up it was. But not to get too gross and too, too vivid. But yes, I'm back almost to full strength, and that's good for me. So yeah, how's your week been, Matt? I imagine you and I spent our week in very similar fashion.
I think we did. We obviously had, like, this week is what I call Gameageddon, which is like the start of like the big AAA games all coming out. I think from now until the end of November, maybe start of December, there isn't a week where there isn't a new game released.
We had Call of Duty this week, which I tried very hard to finagle a review copy because they gave me one last year, because I think they gave everyone with a YouTube channel one last year because they were so unsure about their Fortnite mode. Yeah, nothing this year, but I did get the Outer Worlds.
I got the Outer Worlds too. I haven't gotten Modern Warfare yet, mainly because like the servers apparently like died, and it's like 150 gig install on the PlayStation. So yeah, but yeah, I got Outer Worlds, and Outer Worlds is just brilliant.
Man, can we talk about Outer Worlds? I swear this is a comic book podcast and we'll get to it and everything, but Jesus Christ, the Outer Worlds. I was telling you before we started, I got it on the computer because I got the fancy new PC now, thanks to fans like you watching. And I thought, I'll just screw around in the character creator for a minute. 6 hours later. Oh, where'd that time go?
I got it on PlayStation 4 mainly because I didn't want to support the Epic Store.
Fair enough.
And if it was available elsewhere on PC, I would have gotten it on PC, definitely. But yeah, it's just so fun.
It really is.
So good. It's like a proper Fallout game.
It really is, and I was one of those people who are, it's like, Bethesda, they try so hard. I mean, 76 is a trash fire, but I had fun with 4 and just like with an hour with Outer Worlds, and I'm like, nope, this is better. This is what Fallout should have become. Yep. Wow, Bethesda really is holding that series back. This is just amazing.
Yeah, it's everything that you could want in a Fallout game is here, and it's now in space.
It's now in space. I will tell you the moment that really sold me on the game. About an hour in, I killed some bandits, got a laser gun and a helmet that looked like Star-Lord's helmet from the Abnett and Lanning years, and I'm like, okay, I have become Death Destroyer of Worlds. I am so fucking in now.
I've got that one. The one that sold me was that I just found like a random costume and put it and like upgraded it and put it on, and it made me look like kind of a little bit like Han Solo.
I have seen that. They got a couple Han Solo-y ones there. There's the costumes that are clearly Firefly inspired, Red Dwarf inspired, and then you got your little Star Wars stuff there. There's definitely some great science fiction pedigree here.
Oh, definitely. It's so fun. And as well, the best thing, and Jim Sterling announced this as well, like the game just came out and it's the full game. There's no expansion pass, no deluxe edition, no pre-order bonuses. It's just a full game.
It's an actual real
Which
game.
Which is a rarity nowadays, sadly.
Boy, is it. That's another reason I loved it. Where it's like, wow, you gave me a whole game here, and I don't have to grind or do nothing. It actually feels how it's supposed to feel. And then if I didn't love it enough, I'm like, oh, I don't know how they can make me love this game anymore. It's like, hey, Joel, you know your Hollywood crush there, Ashley Birch? Well, she's your first companion, and you get to hang out with her now. And I'm just like, oh my God, Outer Worlds.
Have you come across any of the flaws yet?
No.
Oh, so it's this fantastic system. When I never knew about this. So when you do something like for me, my guy climbed very high and he became an agoraphobic, or that height one, agoraphobia or something.
Yeah.
And you can choose to use those flaws, and if you use those flaws, you get a skill point back.
Ah, so like old-timey RPGs.
Yeah, and
get a perk, but get a flaw.
There's all sorts of ones. There's ones where you be afraid of robots, or one that become a drug addict and stuff like that.
Actually, yes, I got that one, actually, because I kept mainlining the health gas, and it's like, hey, we think you might have a problem. And I'm like, hey, game, I can stop whenever I want. I'm more fun at parties. But yeah, Outer Worlds, goddamn great. Can't say enough nice things about it.
You've been playing Disco Elysium as well, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
You streamed some of it, haven't you?
I did. I put like the first hour up on the Cape Joel Extra channel. Man, that is just a game from another planet, and I really like that.
How was streaming it? Because I had considered doing that, but then I got into the game like, oh, this game is like really dialogue heavy. It requires you to read a lot. I'm like, I don't know whether that'd be well, like, streaming wise.
Well, here's the thing. I did it super early in the morning on a weekday when no one was around to watch it. So, like, no one complained because it was basically me performing for an audience of one.
Yeah. It's a good game, though, isn't it? It's fun.
Oh, yeah. Smart, well written. It's
again,
it's got like this real otherworldly presence to it. If you do play it though, get ready for this when I upload it. Apparently, like the first 5 minutes of audio is actually copyrighted by an actual band out there who actually claimed the video. Yes.
Oh wow.
That like weird background noise. Apparently, that's like a real song from like a trance band from Britain, and I'm like, seriously? And at first I'm like, that's bullshit. You guys are copyright trolling. And then I'm like, no, they actually own this.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So be wary. But yeah, it's a wonderful game. Both of those. It's a great season for it. It's a great time. As the chat said, have you checked out 2K20 yet? No, but I did get a code. I'm wary about putting it on my computer because I know it's a horrifying glitch fest, but it's a horrifying glitch fest that I totally want to take the ride on.
We should do that, and we should make it like a stream.
Oh, yeah, we really should.
Because I've been like watching like animation clips of that, and it just like, how did they think that they could put that out?
Apparently the story mode is ridiculous too, but I'm even more interested in that because like last year they actually had a good story mode, which was like cause for like acclaim, because usually their story modes are shit when they even bother to have one. They had a good career mode, and apparently this one is ridiculous too. So, and I'm like, oh, I gotta check this one out. Also, too, because you get to play a male character and a female character this year.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'll have to create my wrestling persona, Joel Hard as Rock Diamond, and I'm gonna guess what's the female equivalent of that? Jolene Blinks. We'll figure it out. That's for the chat to help with. I don't got to do that on my own. But yes, everyone, this is a comic book show, but you know, every so often we gotta get the games out there. We gotta talk about what we've been enjoying.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about a lot more.
Oh, most definitely. But with that, let's actually hop on in to the news we had this week, and there was a nice little smattering of news. The first piece of news is something I'm sure you've all been dying to hear us talk about, and it's something I know my co-host is dying to talk about. In fact, I'm going to let him take the lead on this one, as I do sometimes. Matt, there was a trailer for a little movie, a little film, a little space film, a little sci-fi space opera this week. We may have heard of it once or twice. Do tell.
Yeah, we got the final trailer for The Rise of Skywalker the day after we did our last live stream, of course.
I know.
So you've had to wait a week for this, but yeah, it was good. It didn't reveal anything about the plot, even though I kind of know what the plot will be.
Yeah. It was a really well cut trailer too, and I I like how I like it. It also kind of drives me crazy too, how they're like, oh, the end of the trilogy, all roads lead here, the big end, the big finale. And I'm like, fuck off, the finale. It's the finale for this series, but you're totally gonna come out with another one and another one. There's gonna be a new Star Wars movie every year, and the shows and the cartoons and the games. This is the end of nothing.
Yeah, this is the end of a very small part of it. And yeah, of course it'll keep going on, but yeah, that was pretty funny. And they got to hit home that, because that sells. You've got it. They did the same thing for, I think, Harry Potter.
Yeah, which I guess it worked because tickets sold out for this. It's like the most highest selling pre-ticket film ever.
You know what's really funny? That news came out, and then a couple of days after, there was like box office places, ticket sales for the new Star Wars movie are only half of what the last one were. I'm like, well, how does that work if it outsold like Endgame? Like how does that work?
Makes no goddamn sense. I swear that's like again, there's weird stuff circling this, but I thought that was so funny too, after from basically The Last Jedi onward, you and I having to hear all the same stupid arguments over and over again, like, oh, this is a fan rebellion against us, oh, we're not going to see this, and we're not going to see Solo, and then Disney will have to listen to us, oh, all the tickets sold out already? Yeah, I guess that was a short-lived boycott, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's insane, and it's even funnier when you see like all these groups, how they're not going to go see it when they really are, because then how are they not going to be able, because then they won't be able to say anything about the film. They'll have to go see it, which means they're giving them the money.
Exactly. In the long, that's how it always works. And in fact, as I get older, the more and more I see that with so-called boycotts, it's like, yes, boycotts are fine for everyone else, but not for me though. Because I still need to see it. I'm like, so it's like prohibition back in the day. Yes, prohibition for everyone else, but not for me. But yeah, movie looks cool. I really enjoyed the remix of the classic Star Wars theme.
Yeah, not done by John Williams. It was done by someone else who did like trailer music for these trailers. But yeah, it was fantastic. Kind of want it to be in the film.
Yeah, me too. It's a really nice thing where it's like, hey, this is familiar, but also different. Much like this trilogy has been familiar, but different. Of course, we got to see the return. Well, we didn't get to see him, but we got to hear the return of the Emperor.
We kind of see like the back of his head in one shot, and he's in like weird, like, looks like he's in like some weird chair or something. We got to see his throne though, and it looks sick.
It does. Yes, this has all been part of my plan. Okay, you're gonna really have to explain how this was all part of your plan, man. I'm willing to hear you out, but man, it's gonna be a doozy how this was all part of your plan. Please tell me.
Chuck is talking about the Fandom Menace book. Yes, I did see that, and yes, it is as ridiculous as it sounds.
Do tell. I have not heard about this.
It's a book version of. It's like a group of people that hated The Last Jedi and saw it as like this is the fans taking Star Wars back, so they're putting a book out about it.
Jesus. Well, at least it's a book that you got to read, pick up, and assumedly buy. But okay, fair enough. You do you guys. As I've said before, I know in these trying times, the most controversial opinion you can have apparently is liking Star Wars. Yeah. That actually pissed some guy off in the comments section of the last video.
I did. I was going to bring that up. Yes, I did see that. You from now on, Joe, you're not allowed to talk about Star Wars.
Apparently not. Apparently my liking of a thing really hurts this guy out there.
Much like how I'm not allowed to review Batman comics now because I criticize them.
Jesus. I guess I've run all those guys out from my comment section. No one even bothers anymore.
They're all coming over to me now.
I guess so. And it's almost endearing in a way. It's like, hey, man, hey, I'm glad you're still out there, man. I'm glad you're all right. But, yeah, there was some fun stuff, people got whenever these trailers go out for the screenshots and everything. You got Rey holding a rather interesting dagger, Kylo wearing the helmet again after making a big deal about not wearing the helmet again.
Yeah, bringing all the stuff back that The Last Jedi kind of undone.
Yeah, which kind of bothers me, where it's like, no, but I like that Rian Johnson made like these bold moves and decisions here and like actually tried to go against the grain, and J.J. Abrams is like, no. The helmet is very sellable and marketable. He puts it back on. And also,
that's really the only reason we can now take all these helmets that didn't sell and like put red coloring all over them and say it's new.
Also, them continuing to threaten the idea, too, of being like, okay, what was the deal with Rey's parents? I'm like, we know the deal. They were nobodies. That was the thing. Yeah, we said that, but
what do you think she's gonna be? Do you think they'll go for it and be like, oh, she's like Palpatine's granddaughter or something? Do you think they'll go there?
I mean, that's the only thing that reasonably would make sense at this point. I really hope they don't. But I wouldn't put it past them.
Because everything in these movies has to relate to each other. Because the Star Wars universe is very small, as we've learned.
Yes,
this universe is very small.
This vast galaxy, far, far and away, where the only things that happen that matter are all confined to this one fucking family of people. I like they rode the space horses on the destroyer. That was fun.
That was actually pretty cool. It's a unique place to have a battle.
Very. It's a place we haven't seen yet, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah, cool. We saw like an ice, like the Fortress of Solitude floating through the space, which I am convinced will be revealed to be like a superstar destroyer that's covered in ice.
That'd be fun.
I'm convinced.
We saw in the big armada of ships, and his fans are pointing out here in the comment section, the Ghost from Rebels is there. Holy shit.
We saw the Ghost. We saw the Starcaster as well. We saw like some Wookiee ships. We saw some, which I think might be the Iron Squadron Outrider ship from Rebels.
Nice.
Think maybe.
I like things I recognize. What else was there? C-3PO seemingly like that they're almost calling it out. They're almost pointing to the outfield, being like, we will kill C-3PO in this movie. Or he might just upload his brain into the ship like they did in Solo.
Yeah, I like that scene. I thought it was good. The only problem is like he shouldn't be saying it to these characters he's known for like 6 months. He should be saying it to Han, Luke, Leia, Lando, people he spent decades with.
But they're all gone now. But then again, maybe they do the Disney thing where it's like he's actually looking at Force ghosts and they're not actually standing there.
He could, but I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe like his eyes like bring up holograms of them or something.
Oh, or he superimposes his old friends over his new friends.
Deep fakes Rey.
He deep fakes the shit out of her. Or we realize that C-3PO has actually just been a huge human racist this whole time. All humans look alike to me.
Yeah, he's just been this huge racist.
Yep, there I said it. All humans look alike.
C-3PO's really been 000 this whole time.
Oh! Again, you joke, but that's like some shit they'd pulled.
Yeah. Hey, I'd be cool with it.
Yeah, I'm sure people would be too, and other people would be super confused, like when Darth Maul comes back, and they're like, wait, what? I thought he died. I'm like, it's a whole fucking thing. Robot spiders were involved, and Sith witches. Hey, can you tell me that sometime? Maybe not. I don't know. But that's Star Wars coming this Christmas season, which is actually fairly soon, all things considered.
I managed to get my tickets for the midnight screening, so I might do a live stream once I'm finished it.
Oh, that's cool. I wonder if, I never bothered to get early tickets because I live in a podunk northern town in the middle of frickin' nowhere, so it's never usually a problem, but if there ever would be a problem, it would be for Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true. I lucked out, and because they released tickets like really early, like my time. So I was able to get in and just like, because I bought the tickets and then like an hour later, this whole cinema was filled. Right,
yeah. Again, my small town theater is so small. No, you got to actually show up and buy tickets. You can't do anything online. Yeah, that's how freaking old it is.
They have a pre-show as well. It's like cabaret dancers and everything as well.
Shit. Please tell me the cabaret dancers come out to Jizz Whaler music.
Yeah, it's that CGI monstrosity at the end of Return of the Jedi that comes out. Yeah.
What the hell was her name? It wasn't Max Rebo. He was the blue elephant.
I can't remember.
Oh.
It was something.
Yeah. It's no words. It's just all alien gibberish in a tune.
Yeah. George Lucas wrote that. He thought that was good enough to go back into his film.
He loved it. He loved it so much. All right then. So that's your dose of Star Wars news, everyone. And I'm sure, as with everything about Star Wars, some people will be happy about it, and some people will be unreasonably upset about it. But there it is.
Yes, but still call themselves Star Wars fans.
It happens. So there, from the galaxy far, far away to the children of the atom, we have some more X-Men news. A lot of X-Men news, actually.
We do.
Man, you thought it was slowing down, where it's like, okay, Hickman did House of X and Powers of X, and, he says he's only going to do all new X-Men for 12 issues, and it's like, okay, well, he's going to pass it off to the other writers, and, that's still like a year's worth of work there and everything, and, he's the architect, he lays it out for people to play it out, and that's just how it's going to be. And no, actually, because when he's done all new X-Men, he's actually resurrecting giant-sized X-Men, because Big Dick Hickman needs more room for his canvas of X-Men. The regular 22 pages plus ads, not enough.
The giant-sized X-Men is a euphemism, because it's all just going to be about the sex island.
Yes, that's absolutely what it's going to be. It's him so he can has a chance to do all of his fan fiction pairings. And as you can see, issue 1 that Matt is showing here is Jean X Emma, which I'm sure there is much ground to cover on this.
Lots of ground.
Lot of ground to cover on this one. It's going to be a lot of... He needed to resurrect giant-sized X-Men for this, because he's going to be giving you all giant-sized X-Men while reading. That's a boner joke, everyone. That's why you come to the comic multiverse, hard-hitting dick joke journalism. Now, but this is really cool, and again, it goes to show that no, Marvel has no plans to slow down X-Men here or forever now.
I'm more than happy with it, because it's X-Men books I want to read, especially after like the first couple of ones we got with X-Men and Marauders and stuff. They're ones that I want to read.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later, but man, Marvel, they're playing it so right with their X-Men brand right now. It's like, look, we get Hickman in. He changes the game. He hooks you up with House of X and Powers of X. Then what do? Oh, every week now, in the month, for new comics, you get a new X-Men book now. So you never have to stop reading X-Men. It will always be part of your comic diet. And there's something for everybody. You like Marauders, you might not like Fallen Angels, you might not like All New, but there's something for everyone, and you can follow the story, and you can feel like you're not getting ripped off. And if you're a super fan of X-Men, or if it's your job to follow it like us, you're going to buy them all.
Yeah, you're going to, one way or another, you're going to buy them all.
I scoffed when C.B. Cebulski or Akira Yoshida, whoever he was that week, said that, we're going to bring the X-Men back to prominence. We're going to make them the next big AAA thing at Marvel again, like they used to be in the 90s. And I will admit, I scoffed at him. And I'm like, nah, man, you're living in the past. The X-Men, they're a depreciated brand. Maybe when the movies come back, you might be able to get something there. But no, I don't see people, I couldn't see anything big enough to push the mutants back to that AAA spot. I was wrong.
Yeah, the stars aligned on these books.
Boy, did they. I will eat the crow. And you know what? Again, if they keep doing stuff like Marauders that is, stylistically and tonally different and, shining the light on cool characters, I'm like, oh, yeah, the X-Men are a universe unto themselves, aren't they? You literally can have a book every week of the month. That's right. Mm-hmm. And you did. And you do again. Shit. And this is before the movies come out. The chat saying Akira Yoshida never gets old. No, it doesn't. Lest we forget.
Amazing. It's comedy gold, that. And oh my God, I don't know why he was thinking he'd do that.
Yeah, you can't write anything that funny, everybody. But yeah, and that's not the only piece of X-Men news, too, because it's like, I think at the end of it all, there's going to be 11 books, because you got all the books that were announced, House of Empower. You got the X-Moira book that I only heard about last week as someone in the chat told me about it. Yeah. The Mysterious X-Corp, which is coming sometime in 2020, which I actually think X-Corp is going to be a resurrection of X-Factor.
Yeah, yep.
Which I was actually a really big fan of that last X-Factor book, so I'm really glad they're bringing it back. I like the idea of, like, boardroom corporate mutants for some reason. That's fun to me.
It's really interesting. It's something that never really happened before.
It's a fun concept, and again, too, it's like, well, look, if the mutants are building their own nation, obviously they're going to need their own industry.
Yeah, and that's even talked about in Marauders a little bit.
Indeed it is. And I'm like, okay, well, mutant companies suffer the same, late stage capitalism that the rest of the human world is. I mean, if they put guys like Sebastian Shaw at the head of it, yeah, maybe. But yeah, you got all that. And then on top of that, too, they announced a brand new miniseries, X-Men Fantastic Four from Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah, Chip Zdarsky writing the Fantastic Four and X-Men. Oh my god.
It's a match made in heaven, and also too, it's like, oh great, Zdarsky gets to go back to the Fantastic Four, which he hasn't had to do since the end of the Thing Human Torch book he did.
Yeah.
Which was an excellent book, canceled before its time because obviously they had to make way for the main Fantastic Four. But this is cool, and this also seeks to answer, the question on everyone's tongue where it's like, okay, so Franklin Richards is both a member of the Fantastic Four and an Omega-level mutant, and it looks like Xavier and his people are trying to get a lid on all the Omega-level mutants, so where does he stand in this?
Well, it'll be interesting, because they were doing that whole thing in the Fantastic book where, like, Franklin was kind of losing his powers, or, like, the more he used them, he would lose them faster.
Yeah.
So I'm behind by, like, 2 issues on that, so I don't know whether they, like, resolve that yet or not.
But as we've seen on Krakoa, we can just bring you back and we can just fix your powers because we just have like That's an entire backlog of powers, so we can just kill you and bring you back and make you a god again.
That's true. And it also begs the questions like, why didn't they bring him in like earlier? Because like you'd think his powers of like creating universes and stuff like that would be pretty like really useful in Krakoa.
I mean, probably it's just a matter of they didn't want to go to war with the Fantastic Four. Or maybe they did because there's huge chunks of history we haven't seen yet. Maybe Moira and Magneto and all of them went to Mr. Fantastic and they're like, hey, can we hang out with your unborn kid? And Reed was like, get the fuck off my property, you weirdos. Okay. Also, too, with the ability to, like, see and seed universes and everything, does that also, as Marvel Knight saying, make him a precog? And if he's a precog, could he not fuck things up for Moira and everyone else?
I was going to say that, like, he does have, like, latent telepathical abilities and stuff like that. So, is this Xavier, like, trying to, like, bring him in without Moira knowing? Or, like, maybe trying to manipulate him so he dies or something? Or...
Keep your friends close, your enemies even closer. Yeah. I just love the idea too, where it's like, how are Xavier and the mutants gonna coax him to come to Krakoa? Hey, Franklin, we got orgy pits, and we can make you a god again, and it's basically paradise, and you can get a cool helmet like mine. You wanna come hang out with the mutants? he just pulls up in a panel-less van. Hey, Franklin, you wanna come with us? We got candy.
The Krakoa van, they it's like those fat camps. They like kidnap your kid in the middle of the night and like take you to like a weird island.
Come on, it's fun. Come on, spring break on Krakoa. And again, Reed and Sue, where it's like you get from here, Xavier and Magneto. You just chase them off with a broom.
Yeah.
Stop trying to entice my son into your van of mystery. Oh, you ran us off this time, Invisible Woman, but we'll be back.
We'll get him.
We'll get them. They just have like a box with like a stick and a rope on it. And like a cookie, and they're just waiting for him to go on. There's like, haha, we got him. Nope, he's ours now. Possession is 9/10 the law. If you step over here, you'll be declaring war on Krakoa. That's the law. That's how we wrote it. But yeah, this is a really fun premise, and I'm really interested to see where they go with this.
Yeah, it's super cool. I'm intrigued to see, like. Yeah, it's starting to like seep into like the mainline Marvel universe now with this sort of stuff, which I'm glad to see because I'm really intrigued to see like what other heroes think of them quartering themselves off on this sex island.
Yeah, on our crazy sex island. Hey, we haven't hurt anyone yet.
Yeah, that you know of.
Yeah, that's always the thing with this when everyone's like, their island's all weird and segregatious. I'm like, no, if anything, anyone can come so long as you're a mutant or a friend of mutant kind. Heck, Vulcan's letting all his alien buddies come and hang out. They haven't done anything wrong yet. That's always the asterisk. We've done nothing wrong yet. That if we haven't messed with time, well, maybe. But how bad is that?
Yet.
Yeah, you got to wonder if like the Watcher or someone more cosmic comes in. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa! You guys have really messed with time here.
Yeah, like you've been doing stuff that there's like a preordained like way it's meant to run, and you've like completely fucked all that up.
Yeah, it's like this is bad. You're not meant to mess with time like this. You got to figure like eternity or some big powerful cosmic entity will step in and be like, hey, are you mutants doctoring the timeline? No.
Yeah, living tribunal or something.
Yeah, like, are you sure? No. Yeah, we sure didn't. Nope, that wasn't us. Really, because it says here that you've literally groundhogged it like 8 times. Which is like 3 more times than you're legally allowed to. But yeah, so there you go. There's your dose of X-Men news. It's a great time to be an X-Men fan. It really is.
It is.
What else do we got going on here? Ooh, some TV news, which again, this is the point where I have to admit that I am horribly behind on all of the CW shows, yet again, being sick and everything. I'm going to catch up. I just need a night to do it. It's been difficult because all my TV watching time has become Outer Worlds time. But yeah, apparently CW has ordered 9 more episodes of Batwoman for the first season.
What does that mean? It's up to like 20 episodes, or?
I think so now.
Oh, okay, then. So it was like it wasn't ordered. I thought it was ordered to like full series before it even.
Me too.
Even aired. Okay, that's interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. They're like, we don't have a lot of faith in this one. We'll wait and see. And then we'll order some more episodes on that. I'm like, why? Because it's the one show with a woman and an LGBT lead. We didn't say that.
You said that. Racist.
Yeah, we didn't say that. You said that. Hey, does Black Lightning get to hang out in the crossover? Yes. He gets to hang out. Now drop it. But yeah, that's cool for them that they get 8 more episodes there. Again, I'm behind. Although I did see in the trailers that Alice hasn't gone away yet, and I'm like, oh, that's a problem for me.
I watched episode 3 the other day, and I've already forgotten what it was about. I remember
Hush is in it, isn't he?
I don't call that guy Hush. He was like some media mogul who was after a weapon. Yeah, Bruce Wayne invented a weapon that could destroy the Batsuit should anyone get it, like a gun.
Oh.
And I'm like, Bruce Wayne wouldn't do that.
No, he'd make anything but a gun.
He wouldn't even let anyone get near the Batsuit. And Bruce is so arrogant, he wouldn't even develop a thing that could stop Batman. That's like a whole thing. That's like a whole thing in the comics. He's got one for everyone else except for Batman.
Except for him. That's true. I mean, heck, they cover that in Batman Superman this week.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I've always used fear and I've always invaded my friend's privacy and everything, but it was for the greater good. But crap, now Batman Who Laughs does all those things. He's my he knows my weaknesses.
Yeah, they did all that, and that's like all I remember. Yeah, Tommy Elliott was crap in this.
Yeah. What was another thing? The chat kind of reminded me of this one. So Stargirl, they're not sure now if that one's going to the DC Universe app, or maybe it's going to HBO, or maybe it's going to CW. They really don't know where that show is going now, which does not bode well for that app.
Oh, way to shit the bed on that app, eh?
I mean, we theorized this where it's like, look, the second Doom Patrol and all the shows that were getting well reviewed got sent to HBO as part of that big app war. I'm like, well, if you don't have any original content here, then why are people paying money for this app?
Again, why didn't they just make a DC Unlimited, to go up against like Marvel Unlimited, where it's all your comics and stuff, and all your comics and animated shows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's basically what it's going to end up being.
Yeah, so why not just go from that to begin with and just put all these shows on HBO Max or CW,
Yeah. And again, I was interested for that Stargirl show too, because I think she's a fun premise.
And Jeph Johns was heavily involved in it and everything.
Absolutely, and he has a reason to really care about it, and it's something we haven't really seen before. It's a nice little bit of counter-programming and a story we haven't seen before, which I think goes a long way when making superhero stories, where it's like, look, we've seen Batman-esque shows and Superman-esque shows forever and ever. Let's try something a little different. But yeah, I'm worried about that, where it's like, we don't know where this is going to go now. And we've already lost Swamp Thing. So that's already quite a few of our shows we've lost.
Yeah, and also HBO announced they're announcing some DC shows in the coming weeks. I said this a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's coming up at the end of the year sometime. So again, they didn't mention the app at all, the DC app at all.
That just blows my mind. That's like, who is even in charge over there? Who is even doing anything? And then I'm like, this is why Kevin Feige was put in charge at everything at Marvel, so shit like this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So you don't have such a huge division of labor where it's like, no, everything is under one roof and bleeds into each other. But yeah, so that is your dose of CW, everyone. Oh, before we move on from this, more CW, we got the actual dates for the crossover now, for the big Crisis on Infinite Earths.
It's like December 9th or something?
Yes, but it's weird because some shows air on the same night. Like, doesn't Supergirl and Batgirl air on, or Batwoman air on the same night?
Yes. Tonight.
So that airs on... Yes, that's right, as we do this show. So they air on the same night, so you actually get 2 back-to-back bits there. And then it goes from, like, the 9th to the 11th.
Yeah, where the Arrow and Flash ones, I think.
Yes, but then they also, like, take some nights off.
And they have a big break until January.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a stupid way to do it. Why didn't you pick a night where you could do it, like, in a week? I
imagine there's, like, some big cliffhanger before the final episode of Arrow. And then I think the Legends episode is kind of like a... like a catch up or something, like it's like a bookend, right. Which I imagine, since they deal with time travel and stuff, it's them explaining, everything is now in one timeline.
I didn't think about that, Matt, but I think you predicted it. Yep, you're right. It's going to be a big cliffhanger. Like, oh no, how is this going to resolve? Come back in January. And then to finish it off, to be like, yep, you're right. And now the Legends, in their own comedy, self-referential way, will to be like, hey, now everything is in one place.
Yeah, but yeah, they've been building up to it pretty well. Like, Arrow is just all Crisis stuff.
Yeah, you were saying.
And yeah, well, like this last week's episode, they were like teaming up with Katana to get more stuff for the for the Monitor and stuff like that. And Flash this week was a little bit more stuff. I like in Flash that they actually did the thing from Crisis of Infinite Earths with Flash like dissipating. Like,
did they?
Yeah, like it was like kind of like a shot-for-shot remake of it.
Ooh. I'm behind on that, but I did like Flash flying through a big portal while they played the theme from Flash Gordon.
You could tell the effects weren't there because they used it for the Crisis show, because some of the effects on that.
Not great, but I don't care because I love the use of friggin' Queen. I'm like, how much did you guys have to pay for that?
Hey, Cisco said he's been waiting 5 years to use that.
Indeed, and I'm like, you know what? That's fine. I'm all right with that. I then, of course, because I watched that show with someone and I had to explain to them what Flash Gordon was and what that was a reference to. Well, you see, there was this old movie serial called Flash Gordon, and then they did like a movie version of it, and Queen did the song for it, and that's the song. Savior of the universe, he'll save every one of us. But yeah, so that's your CW update, everyone. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to some comic news here. Hey, did you like that Spider-Man Noir, Matt, from Spider-Verse?
I did.
How could you not? Well, he's actually coming back with a brand new miniseries now with a rather interesting team at the helm. Margare Stohl is going to be writing it, and art by Juan Ferreyra. And, of course, we're big fans of Juan Ferreyra here on the channel. He's commented on our videos before, so yes. I know he's watching. So, hello, Juan.
Yes, he's a fantastic artist. He's currently doing the Punisher Kill Crew, which is... I reviewed the first issue. I wanted to review the second, and by the time I was like, I'm going to do the second issue, the third issue had already come out. I'm like, they didn't announce this at all.
Yeah, that one's going really quick. I am an arc behind on Punisher, and I wanted to do a whole video on it, but I haven't had a chance to sit down and read it. But yeah, he's a really talented guy. Stohl is really interesting too, and yeah, I mean, Spider-Man Noir enjoying a great little resurgence in popularity thanks to the Nicolas Cage portrayal.
Yeah, and a perfect portrayal as well.
Very much so. Sometimes I just light matches and let them burn down to my fingertips so I can feel something. I wonder, will this be a more self-serious version of Spider-Man Noir, or will this be the more movie-inspired, slightly comedic, but doesn't know he's comedic type of version?
I have to feel it's going to be that. It's going to be both, because that way you get the comedy and you get the serious stuff.
Will he be punching Nazis, though, is what I want to know.
I hope so.
Again, I'm a little bit behind on my Spider-Man Noir lore. I know, they did the Goblin stuff. I think they did a version of Mysterio in one of the next little mini series he got. It would be fun if out of the blue he's like, okay, so for this third one he fights Hydra and the Red Skull and everything.
That would be really cool.
Because why not? But yeah, so there's your Spider-Man Noir news, everyone. I might check this one out again. Sometimes you see a comic and you're like, man, that looks really cool. I want to give that a try. But then at the same time, it's like, oh, my workload is too high. I just can't.
Has that they announced like a Spider-Verse book? Has that come out?
Yes, it has.
Oh Jesus! I was gonna pick that up, and holy crap!
It came out to very little fanfare, actually, which
really?
I hate to say. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, not that people didn't like it, but just like no one talked about it.
Oh, did people expect it to be like exactly like the movie or something?
I don't know. It's just no one really talked about it. I'm like, well, that's a shame.
No, that's a shame.
Yeah. But someone in the chat says too, KT, will it mention his death in Spider-Geddon? Yeah, I forgot that happened.
It'll probably. Well, was that the same Spider-Man Noir? Because this is like technically the movie one.
We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe it's someone different. Maybe it's someone different under there.
Yeah, maybe you'll have to pick it up and find out. It's Ben Reilly.
Oh, jeez.
It's the Spider-Man Noir clone.
Yeah, except in this, he's like an android.
Oh yeah, as our friend Jersey brings up in the chat, House of X, Power of X took all the hype away because I guess it came out during that window.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, that book did kind of absorb all of the hype from around it.
He really did.
All right, what next we got going on here? Ooh, an actual kind of follow-up from a story we were talking about last week and what we alluded to before. Kevin Feige, of course, becoming the undisputed Marvel czar, the undisputed Marvel champion of the world. No one can take his title now as he holds it over his head. But we had all asked the question where it's like, okay, if Feige is running TV now, what does that mean for Jeph Loeb, the guy who used to run TV? He's been pretty silent. Well, news broke this week. And that is he's probably going to be out by Thanksgiving. In fact, he might have been out for a while. He just hasn't announced it yet.
Yeah, apparently he's been like retired or something since October. Like start of October. So yeah, he's done, and like Marvel TV is pretty much done. Like they've still got shows that they're going to be putting out, but then once they're done, it's done.
They haven't officially announced that, but that seems to be the writing on the wall where it's like, okay, new boss, new world order now, you're all done. And in fact, this story is further, or this theory, I should say, is further strengthened by the fact that Cloak and Dagger on Freeform is also getting canceled around the same time as this news.
Yeah, that was the next story. Yeah. I'm kind of happy because that means it's, as we said before, it's all under one roof. It's all consolidated under one roof. But also I'm kind of sad because like all those shows were like, I caught up on Runaways and Cloak and Dagger for the new series.
Oh, did you really?
That are coming out, and they were wonderful.
From what I understand.
Wonderful. Absolutely. I really liked Runaways. Absolutely loved it.
See, I never actually took the dive on it. That's actually nice to know that it's good.
Yeah, it's different. It's just like at the start, the characters are all like, oh, I hate these kids so much. But then they start growing on you.
Which is actually pretty fair to the Runaways book because they're little shits in the beginning of that series because they're literally the kids of supervillains.
They're a bunch of little rich kids.
Yeah, that's fair. That's pretty close to the material. And hey, you know what? Maybe if Feige is running this, it's like, look, hey, Brian K. Vaughan, look, sorry we canceled this show based on your thing. Do you have another project you would like to adapt with us?
I wouldn't mind. I'd just let that cast and maybe the Cloak and Dagger cast just be in like these TV shows or movies or something because they're perfectly cast.
And also, too, Cloak and Dagger are literal runaways, like literal runaways.
They've got a crossover coming up in their newest season with the Runaways.
So I've heard, and it's like, well, look, if you're crossing that over, then you might as well let some of this stay. Because, well, it's really easy to beat up on Jeph Loeb and kick him in the balls for his tenure, for all the stupid Scott Buck-related decisions, and him just being a genuinely prickly personality in real life. You can't take away the fact that a lot of the shows were good and like they lasted and they had fan bases and shit. And I would hate to clean the board completely on it, even though I kind of feel that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I think they're just going to restart everything again.
But I mean, some of these shows too, it's like, hey, you got 2 seasons out of that material. That's pretty good. That's more than most people get.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see what Loeb's going to do now. Like, as someone said in chat, I wouldn't mind seeing him go back to writing comics.
People forget that he's been the TV man for so long, where it's like, he used to write really good comics once upon a time.
He did a really good arc on Batman and Superman.
Yes,
really good
indeed he did. That people still talk about to this day. And of course, he had his color series that he did for years. What was it? Hulk Gray, Spider-Man Blue, and Captain America White.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for another color in there. Was it Daredevil Yellow? Was that another one he did? I think it was Daredevil Yellow.
Was it yellow or red?
No, I think it was yellow because he was in the yellow suit at the time. Okay. You would think it would have been red, but that's the thing. I was gonna say, I know Jeph Loeb has written some Punisher stories in the past. It'd be funny for him to do like Punisher Black.
Yeah, as other people said, he did Batman Long Halloween.
He did, which, man, I had a power outage here recently, and I went back to read Long Halloween because it was there in my pile. I'm like, I haven't read this for a bit. God, that book reads really well, even to this day.
It really does, doesn't it?
And it's a really solid mystery, and I'm sitting there and I'm reading it, and I'm like, no wonder Christopher Nolan got really inspired by this, and, so many other people got really inspired by this, because I'm like, God damn, this is just a creative-ass book, a real adult, mature take on the superhero genre. This is like a really interesting take on Harvey Dent that we would never really see again. Just, man, Long Halloween's a good-ass book. Yeah, I hope Jeph Loeb also goes back to writing comics.
Yeah.
Now that he's essentially freed up now. Or he might just retire. I don't know what his salary was. Maybe he's decided he finally has enough money.
Yeah, maybe he can go over to DC and sort all their shit out.
That would be funny, wouldn't it? Where it's like, okay, I'm back. Loeb's home.
That'd be hey, he did Smallville and stuff like that. He was producing on Smallville, and Smallville lasted 10 seasons.
Indeed it did. Wouldn't that be interesting, where it's like, look, in my moment of pure spite, I went back to the competition. It's like, all right, let's get this shit in order now. You got too many apps and too many shows on too many networks. Let's fix this. That Titan show, let's do something about that. Have they announced a 3rd season for that yet? I know they didn't.
Don't think so. No.
Which is crazy to think, because they announced a 2nd season like right after season 1 aired, and now they're not announcing a 3rd season.
Yeah, well, this season's been pretty crappy anyway. They've had one good episode.
I had no interest in watching it after the first one, and people are so amazed, and that's like, oh, Joel, why didn't you start season 2 of Titans? Because I quit after episode 1 of season 1. That's why.
Just watch the Superboy episode. You'd be like, wow, where was all this like throughout the rest of the seasons?
Okay, that was the good one. I will add that to my ever-growing list. I need to see that, and I need to see the Neil Gaiman's death, little short vignette they made.
The one written by Jerry Ordway.
Yes, which it's funny, when people were telling me that, they're like, hey, Joel, have you seen the DC showcase on death? I literally thought everyone was fucking with me. I thought that they were making a cruel joke, where I'm like, fuck off. They did not go back to doing DC Showcase, and they certainly didn't do Neil Gaiman's death. What fucking world do you think we're living in? Then I looked it up, and I'm like, it's real, and it was on that Wonder Woman Bloodlines. But really?
I didn't even watch Bloodlines. Did you saw the yellow showcase with Sergeant Rock, didn't you?
No, because again, I thought people were fucking with me. I need to go. I'm like, and then they made a Sergeant Rock one? What?
It's really good, and it has decent animation.
What's up with that? Like, here's the thing. Fuck making the big, long movies. Make the good, high-quality shorts.
Yeah, they were really good. Like, the old ones were really damn good.
I know what else you could do. You could take the money for the high quality animation, and you could make, several small short episodes, and you could call that a season of television, maybe. Wouldn't that be nice? That's fine. It only needs to be 6. That Constantine one we really liked. That was also 6 short episodes that they stitched together into one 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
Also, this thing is threatening to fall down back here. I'm getting too animated. I don't want my Asian windows to fall down and people see how I live and what's behind me.
You should see the dungeon.
Yes, I don't want people to see my horrible, horrible crimes. That's why the window protects me. No, it's just like the fireplace and like pictures of my family and shit is all it is. It's just a mantle, but it's just like a really shitty image.
It's nice that you call your captors your family.
Yeah. Hey, shut up back there. I'm talking about the Superman. And actually, hey, moving on from there, because we actually mentioned Wonder Woman, and this is a perfectly good segue. Apparently, it was announced this week that Maxwell Lord is actually going to be appearing in that Wonder Woman 1984 movie. It's
kind of a given. He was. We knew Pedro Pascal was playing him. Like, he looks exactly like him.
He looks a lot like him. Which again, it's like on one thing I'm like, oh, so is he gonna be the villain for this one next to Cheetah? Is he gonna be like the secondary villain? And I'm like, it's weird to pick him, and then I'm like, well, it's not so weird though, because like an image even for people who don't read comics or are only tangentially knowledgeable is the famous image of Wonder Woman breaking Maxwell Lord's neck. So I mean,
yeah, or that other image of like Maxwell Lord shooting Blue Beetle.
Also that, so fair enough.
Yes.
To bring him into these films.
Yeah, do you think, is he going to have his like powers? Do you think?
That's my next question that I was going to pose to you. Is he going to be a powered threat, or is that going to take away from Cheetah? Or maybe it's one of those things where it's like he shows up in this movie and he's just a regular suit wearing asshole, but maybe he gets his powers by the end of the movie, and then maybe that's Wonder Woman 3 in modern day.
The Supergirl, the first 2 seasons of Supergirl did that with Maxwell Lord, where he's just like a normal businessman, and then he gets like some type of power.
There's a lot of interesting ways you could go with Maxwell Lord, because he has such this rich, interesting history, like how he used to be like a super fan for the superhero community and how he used to hang out with the Justice League and everything, and then they brought him back, and it's like, no, he's dark and gritty and a bad guy now. I'd love to see if they went in that direction, to have Maxwell Lord be like, oh, I'm such a huge Wonder Woman fan. I have all your like World War II cards and shit.
That'd be pretty cool. Like, kind of like a Coulson.
Yeah, kind of like a Coulson, but then you make the twist and be like, no, but this guy's actually evil, though. Where it's like, yeah, evil people can be fans.
Yeah.
In fact, you could actually make a really interesting story out of that, where it's like, yes, this guy is a fan of superheroes, but he's the most evil guy, showing that he has completely missed the forest for the trees in all of these superhero stories he loves. And that he sees nothing wrong with his behavior. That would be fun. I'm surprised we haven't heard more about this Wonder Woman 1984 movie, considering what a big hit that first Wonder Woman movie was.
Well, it was meant to come out this year, wasn't it, and got pushed back.
That's right, I guess it did, because again, DC Warner Brothers films, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, but apparently we're getting a trailer sometime in December, apparently. That's the rumors.
We're giving you a new Batman because our other Batman quit, or we forced him out, whatever.
Yeah, but my favorite thing about this film is that people have just been like the DC Cinematic Universe people have been like completely going against it because of that poster we saw that had colors on it.
Oh, because it was all shiny and cool looking, and an image that actually grabbed your eye.
Yeah, they didn't like that. They thought they were just going to be aping Thor Ragnarok because color. Thor Ragnarok invented color. Before that, nothing was in color.
It's true. We lived in a very dark time before Taika Waititi invented color for all of us. I'm thankful for him and to the nation of New Zealand. Man, I still haven't seen Joker yet. Now that I'm feeling better, and like Jojo Rabbit comes out this week, I'm like,
just where do Jojo Rabbit? You'd be better off seeing that fucking film.
Man, the funny thing about the Joker discourse is, like, for a week it was super hot and everyone was into it, but then I guess people realized that it was ultimately a pretty empty film, and no one was talking about it week 2.
No.
The most I heard about it was this week, is apparently some dude's like, oh yeah, we're having a big Halloween party on the steps from the movie and everything in New York, come out there. And like a bunch of people from that area are like, oh yeah, definitely come out to my backyard dressed like a clown. Bring your wallet and your iPad and everything too. Yeah, while you're at it. I promise you won't get robbed.
Oh, I hope people do rob them, because people have just been using those steps to like film and photos and everything, not realizing that, hey, someone like lives there.
Yeah, which, man, I really want just a bunch of sad clowns in costume being like, yeah, and then we were robbed by real criminals.
We do live in a society.
We didn't know it until now. Also, again, I haven't seen the movie, so you'll have to tell me. The song he's dancing to in that bit there from the movie, that's Gary Glitter, right?
Yeah, and everyone was quick to say that this is wrong because we hate these artists now, which means we have to hate all their music.
Right, because Gary Glitter, for those of you who don't know, actual convicted pedophile in real life. Like, I think, is he dead or is he in jail?
I'm not too sure.
But yeah, actual convicted pedophile, which is like, hey, lots of music I like is from bad people. But at least, Warner Brothers was sure to come out and be like, okay, he doesn't own the rights to that one anymore. We promise your tickets don't go into the bank account of an actual pedophile. We promise.
Also, you're complaining about the music the Joker listens to?
Yeah, really.
like he would listen to that sort of stuff.
He only listens to artists who are problematic.
Lots of Kevin Spacey in there.
Yeah. Oh man, BoJack Horseman this season had a joke that was so amazing, where Paul F. Tompkins is like, "Oh, I haven't been this uncomfortable since I was playing Twister with with Bryan Singer." Yeah, it was at a party.
That's a good one.
It was at it gets better. It's like, yeah, I was playing Twister with Bryan Singer at a party thrown by Kevin Spacey. It was a getting out of jail party for Andy Dick.
Jesus, that's a layered joke.
Boy, man, there's a lot of that this season on BoJack where I'm like, man, that's a joke within a joke within a joke. It's actually its final season this season. They're doing it in 2 halves.
Yeah, I'll be able to catch up now.
Yeah, I know that's like one of those shows that some people are like, I'll wait till it's done until I watch it.
Yeah.
There's few comedies that ride this amazing line from like having me laughing like that was funny to, oh God, that was so depressing. Because that's what the show is, just wavering between those two things. Like episode 1 is like, okay, BoJack finally put himself into rehab after 6 seasons. Now let us flash back to pivotal moments of his life where he ended up drinking.
Oh, as you do.
Oh, and it's a laugh riot for all those times he tried to feel normal and to fit in and to make the pain go away. And also his young co-star, because he's basically Bob Saget. His shitty behavior and shitty role modeling may actually have gotten her to become an alcoholic too. So,
Oh, no.
Ouch. Yeah, it's one of those, everyone. So, yeah, that was the news this week, everyone. I hope you liked it.
Yeah.
I guess from there we can hop on in over to what we read this week, and I actually got a fair amount read. I'm actually happy for once about the amount I read.
Yeah, I'd like to think a fair amount. I still have got heaps left over, but yeah.
I know. God, can we... this is a month with 31 days, yes?
Next week is this week is actually quite a little bit of a light week.
Good. I was going to say, can we have a light one? I was talking to this with someone else the other day, and I'm like, man, comic book YouTubers, it's great that we always have content every Wednesday, but it sucks because we can never take a vacation. If you're lucky, they'll let up around Christmas time, or if you're lucky in a month with 31 days, they'll give you kind of a break.
Yeah.
But yeah, so where would we like to start this week, Matt?
I don't know. What did you read?
Let's start with Marauders, I guess, because this is, I think we kind of start with X-Men a lot. Boy, I was not expecting this one because it's really funny. It's a comedy, and I think that's so great because that's the one thing Hickman wasn't delivering in his things, like jokes and yuck. So to make this one kind of an action comedy was a cool idea.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure about this book and probably most of these X books. I'm like, I can't see this surviving or something. But yeah, I finished reading this. I'm like, I hope this gets like 10 volumes. It's so funny. It's
really funny and a really solid premise and a great reminder of like, oh yeah, Jerry Duggan has been a Marvel secret weapon forever, and yet they've never given him a AAA title, and that's so weird. This is the guy who shepherded Deadpool for 5 years, so no wonder it starts with a great joke. Like, literally, it's like, hey, Krakoa, the mutant nation for everyone, come one, come all. Kitty Pryde tries to walk in, hits her head off the thing because she can't go.
Yeah, and again, you just like right off the bat, we've got like one little plot point. It was like, why can't Kitty use the gates? Like, why doesn't Krakoa let her use the gates?
which is fascinating. And I'm like, okay, so this is your mystery. This is what you build the series around. As I said before, it's an action comedy. There was a comment I got from a guy, and I saved it because it was so perfectly wrong.
You should have sent me it. I could have put it up on the screen here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not that petty as to out someone. It's there. You can find it. First off, he wrote a novel, which already you're on my wrong side when you write me a novel. Yeah. It's a comment section. Keep it short. But this dude so totally did not get that it was a comedy, and that to see someone actually try and look at a comedy like it was a drama was truly, truly stunning. It's like it was like reading something an alien had written, where he's like, "Oh, I didn't like that Kitty stole a boat. That means she's not a hero. She's a bad guy." I'm like, yeah, it's a joke. She could have waited for someone to send a boat for her, or she could have bought one with her own money. But it's absurd. It's funny that she steals a boat because, as she says, it's like all my mutant friends are off in Mardi Gras, spring break, having a great time, and I'm the one person left out. You bet I'm going to move heaven and earth to get there.
Also, like, what has Kitty done to prove that she's like that like no nonsense, I will never do anything wrong type of hero? Like, has this guy read anything about her?
Well, she was the headmaster of the school in gold.
Yeah, but then she was also like going off into space, killing monsters and all that sort of shit. And like, she's done some questionable things throughout her life.
She contains multitudes, which is why she's a fascinating character. And this book is really a love letter to her. This same guy had a problem. Oh, and then she threatens a small child. I'm like, yeah, and she did it in Anna.
That's the joke.
She did it. It's absurd. Adult women don't usually threaten kids. Did you notice that her face became all distended and anime-esque for a second there?
Yeah.
As to stretch that it's a joke?
The glint in the eye and everything. It was funny. It was great.
But then the real cherry on the cake is when he defended the Russian government in their in how they were treating the mutants. And I'm like, okay, first off, guy one, that wasn't the Russian government they were fighting. That was a mutant-hating militia, first off. So you got that bit wrong, too. Are we really going to defend the Russian government in 2019? Are we? And their ways of dealing with special interest groups like mutants, considering how they disappear people like that in real life
and the
all
guy,
the time?
The not Crimson Dynamo guy said so. Like, it's like they either serve us or we crush them and put them in gulags. Yeah. I'm like, how are you defending that?
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, you know, Krakow, it's a segregationist nation. I'm like, no, you can get in all the time. You just gotta prove to the mutants you're not a threat. And he's like, oh, and Kitty was way too mean with those Russians. There, I'm like, she didn't kill them though.
Yeah, she didn't. Oh, I got something similar as well, where like, because when they go and fight the Russians, Kitty does something where she shoots a guy in the knee and then she phases the gun through two guys' legs and like leaves it. It's so cool. I got one as well. It's like, oh my god, Kitty, like she would have been better off to kill those guys. I'm like, but she didn't. She left them alive, you know.
But what's the rule there? What is it there? Respect this holy land, make more mutants, harm no man. Yeah, or was it murder no man? Murder no man is open for interpretation. You can still fuck a man up and not have him be dead. He might wish he was dead, but you can still fuck him up. I mean, Batman does the same thing. I don't see you holding Batman to those standards, too. I mean, he beats guys into comas and body casts all the time, but when Kitty does it.
Yeah.
Or Kate. I love that, too. Emma's like, no, I'm not going to call you Kitty. You're an adult woman. I'm going to call you by your name. That's really funny, and I'm surprised it took someone this long to bring that up.
Yeah. So, Emma Frost plays a big part in this, where we revealed that, like, she wants Kitty to be her Red Queen, get that extra seat at the table, and become a pirate captain, basically.
Which, who wouldn't want that gig?
Yeah, with a brand new boat, get to pick her team.
Which
she falls right into it. She just gets immediately wasted off of Canadian Club whiskey and one bottle, which was awful. So she's like a lightweight.
A little bit there. I love that where she's already become a smuggler and a pirate with Wolverine. Like, bring me Cubano sandwiches and pomade, but don't tell Cyclops about the pomade. And that he's so stoked because Krakoa's like, no, I will provide all the food and sustenance for it. That's not Memphis ribs, though. That's not Canadian clubs, so we're going to have a problem.
I love how happy he is when he arrives. He's just like, he's like a dog. He just like runs out into the ocean and boards the boat and brings back his kegs and whatnot.
I love Wolverine. I love funny Wolverine, funny wholesome Wolverine. Hi, kitty. Bye, kitty. Also, Iceman gets a lot of fun in this book, too. They basically make him the gay best friend. And I know that's kind of been up in the air right now. Where it's like, okay, well, the younger version came out and the older version said he would come out. What are we going to do with that? The answer is innuendo. Endless innuendo is what we're going to do.
I was going to say, is this because, they had that whole thing where, like, Jean Grey basically outed him. And, but that was the younger one, and the older one hadn't done that yet. So, yeah.
No.
I suppose it's like you be whatever you want on Krakoa.
Basically, yeah, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. Although, again, there's some really great one-off lines there where Kitty's like, why can't I go through the gate? Well, they say they have top men working on this one, and Bobby's like, oh, I'd like to meet those top men, and I'm like, yes. Because you've always been a bottom, haven't you, Bobby? Badum-tish. I'm fine with the Age of Iceman innuendo. Is he gay? Is he straight? Is he bi? Whatever, but he's a saucy bitch is what he is. Oh, hey, Bobby, you're naked again coming back from Russia. Was that from praying or playing? Little bit of both. But yeah, Marauders is great. Marauders is funny. Ooh, Pyro is there, and he's Australian again.
The original Pyro.
Which, man, that's amazing they have that power on Krakoa. Oh, yeah, we can resurrect you, and we can resurrect everyone's favorite version of you.
And I love how they just, like, breeze over those. He's like, oh, yeah, I was asleep, and then I was awake, and it turns out I was the first one, like, to be brought back by Krakoa. How about that? I'll just, join this team now and be Australian and call people yobbos.
Love it. Love everything about it. I'm down for this. It's also funny, too, how they say, and I'm sure this will come up later, where it's like, okay, Kitty, you were actually our third choice. Storm was our first choice, and she said no, because obviously Aurora doesn't like Emma, and the fact that she's basically a criminal, and that makes a lot of sense. Who was the second choice?
Maybe Iceman.
Maybe Iceman, yeah. It's like, I don't like boats.
Yeah.
I get seasick.
Yet he's part of the team.
Yeah, I can't be your weird pirate captain. Yeah, he's part of the team. That's interesting. Also, too, the fact that Kitty or Kate can't go to Krakoa means that she's probably not drinking as much of the Kool-Aid as everyone else, and she's not getting as indoctrinated, which means that Kitty could very well be the one to save everybody.
Yeah, but yeah, she says, like, at the start, where Iceman's like, hey, let Krakoa build you a weird sex house. Like, she doesn't really want to.
No, yeah.
She's like, I don't particularly want to stay at this weird place.
Yeah, you're all getting a little too dependent on this island. Also, too, I've heard some interesting theories where it's like, okay, well, why can't she go there? Is it a problem with her phase shifting power? That's like the obvious one. Is it because she did something to offend Krakoa at some point because Krakoa is indeed alive?
Yep.
Is this something? Does Moira not want her there for some particular reason? And here's another interesting theory that someone actually brought up to something that Mr. Sinister had said previously, that apparently he's already replaced a mutant somewhere on the island.
Ooh.
So what if she's replaced, which means she's not actually a mutant anymore?
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, they've somehow managed to, like, leave her as it is, but they've, like, taken the mutant gene or something, and that's why she can't go through. Oh, that'd be really interesting.
And so we find out later, maybe, and I'm just spitballing here, that she's like some Mr. Sinister sleeper agent. He's just got to flip a switch.
Yeah.
And it's like, all hail Sinister, I follow you. So yeah, lots of cool places this book could go.
Yeah, very intriguing. And it's got me interested for the other books like Fallen Angels, and is Fallen Angels the one that comes out this week?
I think so. I know people have been talking about it. It's the Brian Edward Hill one.
Yeah, it's the one with all like the British like guys in it.
No, that's Excalibur.
Or is it? I think that's the one that comes out this week.
Excalibur is this week, yeah. Which I'm very excited for Excalibur because Apocalypse, and also written by Teenie Howard, who I've been saying before is a real face to watch at Marvel right now because she's had
fantastic writer.
She is. She's had some one shots here and there. She has that Strike Force book, which I haven't had a chance to read yet, and like a couple anthology stories, and they've all knocked my socks off. She's got kind of a young Gail Simone thing about her, actually.
Yeah.
Which is high praise for me to give, but yeah, definitely one to watch. And Excalibur is just a cool idea for a team too, all these international mutants.
Yeah.
Also, new new version of Captain Britain, which is going to be pretty huge.
That's what has me really intrigued.
Captain Britain in a post-Brexit age. I wonder if that's going to come up at any point here. I am the hero of this empire while it lasts.
Yeah, I cannot go to these European states.
Oh man, that's got to be a thing. Stop, Captain Britain. We can't let you in. Crap.
You don't have the right passport.
You're really more Captain London in this general area. Sorry. Does that mean I'm less powerful now? Also, too, I wonder if we'll get to see other past Captain Britons show up at all.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, because, you figure they're got to be running around somewhere.
Yeah.
Also, that's where Rogue and Gambit went. So, see what's going on there with Mr. and Mrs. X. They had a book.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, so that was X-Men. What else did we have this week, Matt, that you would like to talk about?
We had Batman Curse of the White Knight, issue 4.
Yes, I did this one yesterday. Oh boy, what a visceral ass issue. This is probably the quickest read I did.
Yeah, the halfway point of this series, and yeah, we get like the fallout from Jim Gordon's death last issue, where he technically died at the start of this issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get to see, as a cinema review, it's like people dealing with like the fallout of that, with like the anger that people feel, whereas Batman throws himself into his work in this like gotta stop the blood feud between his family and the Bakars, because that's what he thinks Azrael is doing this for. Whereas Batgirl just basically goes, fuck all this shit, I'm gonna go kill Azrael.
And I really love that, because Dick tries to stop her. And it's like, look, Bruce and I both lost our parents at a young age. And, we've had a lifetime to deal with that anger. Don't let it destroy you. Where she's like, no. I'm angry now and well-trained and an adult and shut up. And I'm going to do this. And I like, Uncle frickin' Harvey Bullock over there. All right, let's do this. Yeah. Where you think he's going to stop her for a second, like, no, Barbara, there's a better... No, I'm coming with you, actually. I'll drive.
Yeah, I was essentially Jim's brother.
Yeah, let us both make a poor decision together. The justice system can wait. Let's fucking do this cowboy style. Which is so wonderful, because he actually cries in this book, and you never see Harvey Bullock cry, and that's how you know the shit's real.
Yep.
Also, Leslie Tompkins shows up here in a really interesting thing, too.
Yeah, so Harley's given birth to her babies, and they're fine and everything, and then, we find out from Leslie Tompkins that she knew about the journal that of Edmund Wayne that Alfred had found, and she had actually found it with him.
Yeah, that they had been working a whole side thing when he was away and they didn't even know. I love Alfred to protect his son and protect his family. He grabs a fucking sword off the wall. Doesn't grab a gun. It's just like, nah, we're sword fighting now.
and he goes and meets Jason Blood? Mark?
I thought that was Jason Blood too. I'm glad I'm not crazy, because he's got the white streak and got everything else. And I'm like, all right, it's an alternate universe. Yeah, Jason Blood could be a member of the Church of Saint Dumas. That makes sense.
Yeah, didn't outright mention it, but yeah.
But he clearly has magic powers. So.
Or he's a ghost or something. I don't know.
Maybe a ghost, and his big deal is like, look, you cannot reignite the war between the Waynes and the Church of Saint Dumas, or it'll be destruction for everyone.
Yeah, Gotham would just be destroyed.
Yeah, because it happened before. And I love, too, in the big fight between Batman and Azrael, the first time they've actually gotten their hands on each other all series, Azrael's talking all that, religious fundamentalist shit. Oh, God let you live because we had to fight now on the field of battle. And Batman's like, dude, I barely fucking know who you are. I love that, because you never have a series where Batman just admit he doesn't know anything. I love he just straight up says, I don't know you.
Yeah, I don't know you. I have no idea what your deal is. Like, why are you doing this? I don't care about some blood feud.
Yeah, no, God is on my side. And even before that, even Azrael's own people are like, Ruth is kind of manipulating you, right? And you're really just doing the work of the Gotham 1%ers. God is on my side. We'll kill them all if we have to.
Yeah, the Blood Angels, his little gang there. They're like, yeah, we join you because like we're part of like the squad in Vietnam and everything, out of like respect and everything. But like you didn't mention anything about killing detectives or this weird like God thing. It's like you're not taking your cancer pills because of it.
And that, like, they've literally created a monster in Azrael because he's believing his own hype now. And, like, they were supposed to kill Gordon, like, really quietly. And he's like, no, it needed to be public. I'm fucking crazy. Also, Barbara gets her back broken, seemingly.
Is that what happened? Because I wasn't too sure whether, like, she got it broken or whether, like, she was knocked out or she died or something.
It looked like he gave her like an inverted Bane backbreaker, and I'm like, oh, is this how she becomes Oracle in this universe?
That'd be pretty cool. It
would, and in fact, I actually really like it the more I think about it, because the problem with her getting crippled by the Joker and the whole Killing Joke thing is like, oh, well, she has to be a victim of sexual violence to make it happen, and it really diminishes her character, because then Batman has to go and fight the Joker and all this other stuff. But here, she did it because she was mad about her father's death, went in half-cocked when she should have known better, and ended up paying the price for it. I'm like, see, that's good drama.
Yeah. That's actually really like a lot better. And as well, hopefully Sean Gordon Murphy, because he likes designing like vehicles and stuff, maybe she gets like a sick like monster truck wheelchair or something.
Oh, it's like Professor X's hovering wheelchair. That'd be cool. It's got like a bunch of riot shotguns and everything on it. Oh, it's like one of those murder ball wheelchairs so she can like jam into you really hard and knock you over.
Yes.
Well, you see, that's got to be for White Knight 3 is what that is. We bring Jason back and we introduce Oracle is what we do.
That's true.
And you can't tell me there's not going to be a 3 here and that he's not future-proofing.
I mean, they're already doing spin-off. We've got that free spin-off coming up soon.
Which I'm really excited for, actually. In fact, speaking of Mr. Freeze, you want to talk about Detective Comics? Because that was also this week.
Oh, this was a good issue.
Yeah, he wakes his wife up and everything. And I love the second his wife is up, it really stops being about Bruce and just starts being all about them.
Yeah, and we find out that like she was like put in there against her will. Like she wanted to fight the cancer and everything that was ravaging her body, whereas Victor was like, nah, fuck that. Cryosleep.
Yep, you're going in the ice. Although, as he says, like, I did it because I was too weak to deal with the truth and to deal with the mortality. I'm like, see, now that's good characterization. He did a bad thing, but for an understandable reason. And his thing is like, if I saved you, I could apologize to you. And, well, I saved you, so I'm sorry.
Yeah. Again, it makes him like that, like, Batman animated series, Mr. Freeze, where he's like, he never wanted to be a villain. Like, it just his life led him there because of him trying to save his wife.
They also do some small retconning too. Now, instead of being a scientist alongside Victor, she was a ballerina, which lends a little bit more credence to again, Batman the Animated Series. What's he always looking at? Oh, the little music box of the ballerina and everything. Like, because the ballerina was literally his wife.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then, too, Batman's just kind of like, well, Mr. Freeze kicked my ass, so I guess I just have to deal with trying to save these other women who are on ice.
I'm kind of upset, though, they didn't do, like, what we were thinking, where it's like, Nora, like, because we at the end of this issue, she becomes like Mrs. Freeze and like gets armored up and everything. I was kind of hoping we get that thing where it's like she saw what Batman has been doing all these years, like through the ice to her, and thinks he's an evil man and everything, and that's why she decides to help him. We didn't get that, but I like what we got though.
I did too. Even in the back of my head as I read it, I'm like, this is good, but Matt pitched a better one. Sorry, Peter Tomasi, my friend Matt pitched a better one. But yeah, I again, they do a lot of heavy retconning here where it's like, okay, so Wayne Enterprises was actually in charge of the cryo program and Wayne shut it down, or someone working for him shut it down, but also Nora and Bruce knew each other before she went in the ice.
Yeah, we get a cool moment between those two when he storms Wayne Manor. Oh, it's not Wayne Manor, the like boardroomy type place.
Right, because he had to get Lucius's help, and Lucius looks over the serum, and he's like, oh, there's actually something extra in here, something regenerative. And I'm like, oh, interesting, I wonder.
It's crack.
It's crack. Apex Lex just sprinkled a little bit of crack in there.
That's what he did on all his... That's why he liquidated all his money to buy all the crack in the world just to sprinkle on like all his like doomsday weapons. That somehow made them like work for individual people.
This'll show them. This'll show everybody. Geez, splicing yourself with Martian DNA rots your brain. Actually, I'm glad you brought up Apex Lex, because in the weirdest way possible, Mr. and Mrs. Freeze win, get what they want, and then the end of this comic, hooks up with the end of Justice League from last week.
Oh, like a lot of comics this week actually did that.
Yeah.
And last week, for better and worse.
Very, yeah. Some of them it worked well. Some of them just
like the Flash one this week. He's like teaming up with Hunter Zolomon to fight like Black Flash and everything and all that sort of stuff. And then at the end of that, it happens as well. I'm like, but Flash is in the 1940s when that happens. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Also, Batman is here and in space and in the city of Bane and fighting the Batman who laughs.
I like in that where they oh wait, no, that I'll get to that one. They actually talk about like Gotham and Bane and everything in Action Comics.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, because Batman's in that as well.
Also, they're all apparently fighting Leviathan at the same time as well, also, according to Black Adam from this week.
Yeah. Black Adam is involved in that as well.
And I'm like, fuck off, all these things being related and happening at the same time.
There's no way. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible.
That's superstar diva writers pushing them all into a corner and being like, okay, make it fit, because I'm not going to stop my story to benefit his. Well, I'm not going to stop my story to benefit his. Well, then I guess you're just going to have to do them all at the same time and leave the fans to make sense of it.
Oh, Jesus. Don't worry, that timeline they've invented will make sense of it. Perfect sense, of course.
We've wrecked it so bad by letting our 3 superstar writers do whatever they want that now we have to come up with a brand new timeline because that's how hard everything has been broken.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, Detective Comics. Cool story. I like it. What else did you want to talk about?
Batman Superman issue 3.
Yes, I just read this before we started.
Yeah, it was a cool issue.
Yes, it put some much-needed kind of adrenaline into a story that I was actually, admittedly getting a little bored with at the end of issue 2, where I'm like, oh, God, we're doing the Batman who laughs again, But no, in fact, he actually doesn't even leave his cell.
Yeah, I liked that it was all in like a VR sort of simulation. One thing I was really disappointed was we didn't really get much Superman undercover. Like, I kind of thought they were going to run them with that for like a couple of issues.
Same. I thought that was going to be like the Serpico thing, but no, they really dispensed with that. What was hilarious to me was this whole thing where it's like, yes, Superman will pretend to be inverted so he can get close to the Batman who laughs. And I'm like, oh, so did you like take some of Alfred's stage makeup and like he's going to have to try acting? No, we shot him up with actual Joker poison.
Yeah, and his Kryptonian physiology is only just keeping it at bay.
And I'm like, that seems wildly risky, Batman. I like to imagine, it's like, how did you get Clark to agree to that? Hey, Clark, look over there. Stab. What did you just inject me with?
Sprinkled it in his oats.
It's like, do you just keep Joker poison on you at all times? I keep everything in my belt at all times. You want some shark repellent? I have shark repellent.
Yeah. Well, what if he accidentally, instead of injecting him with like the Joker serum, he like injects him with like coyote urine or something?
Especially too because as we saw in that Batman Who Laughs miniseries, the only thing that saved Bruce from getting infected from that weird Joker poison stuff was like pure blood of his young self from the future or from the past.
Yeah.
Did you save some of that blood for Superman? Oh, no. Sorry, Clark. Just ran out.
Nah, Superman just sneezes it out.
Oh, true. It's great, too. Batman Who Laughs is like, yeah, did you really think it was going to be that easy? Was I just going to shine the names of the Secret Six in the sky for you to find? And Batman's like, oh, that's way too awkward a sentence. You gave me a clue, didn't you? Oh, fuck, it's Gordon, and he's been corrupted for weeks. Shit, I'm a bad detective.
Yeah, Superman figured that out beforehand.
He did.
And he got there late only because he was shot up with fucking Joker crack.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, as I wished, my wish was granted. The Batmech showed up again.
Yes, from one of the best stories of the New 52 that everyone seems to think wasn't a good story. It was. Yeah, it was a very good story. Yeah, there's a lot of, revisionist history with that run. It's like, no, guys, that was actually one of the better things at that time. Yeah.
And, like, Detective Comics was great with it because it just became a cop book with a dude in a mech suit.
Yeah.
People forget that was an amazing era of that book. But, yeah. Also, too, Gordon is just like, I am evil now, and also I have a cool new mask now.
Yeah, I don't know where I got this mask. I got that, and I got 2 guns.
I got 2 guns. I can shoot the shit out of you. Which, again, as I've said before, it's like, I mean, Gordon has lived this long in Gotham City. He can hang.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
He's been Batman. It's like people like underappreciate him. And in fact, that's kind of a theme here of characters that the Batman Who Laughs chose to invert, people who, you know, feel underappreciated or underrepresented, because we also see Jaime Reyes show up here, too.
He's technically the Batmech.
He is the Batmech, which I love that twist where it's like, ha ha ha, you took me back to your secret base. Because again, I can do this as Blue Beetle. You guys always treat me as a third stringer and a sidekick, but I'm actually very powerful and very competent.
Yeah, when I wanted to, I could probably take all of you people out.
Probably. And the fact, too, that we know who are the other ones. Supergirl, Donna Troy, Hawkman. It's like, yeah, these are all characters who feel super underappreciated in their own little bubble no one calls. And in fact, maybe that's what makes them perfect to invert and turn evil. Because that evil latches on to that shit in the back of their head.
Yeah, that evil's kind of already there a little bit.
It's not just like if you turn Superman, it's like, ha ha ha, I am evil Superman now, though I have nothing in me to really draw upon. But for them, it's like, no, they had that little spark in them that got, you know, gasoline poured on it. Which I like, and I hope we get to see more of that in the story moving forward.
Yeah, so we get all that. We get the heroes like defeated, and Batman Who Laughs never left his cell, and then at the end we get to see that symbol again.
Which I also appreciate with Batman Who Laughs being like, look, for once this fight actually isn't with the heroes. It's for my next biggest competition in reordering the universe, which is Lex and Perpetua and the Legion of Doom. And I'm like, oh, so this is going to be a villain versus villain story with the heroes caught in the crossfire. All right.
I also just want to talk about that scene because earlier in the book it says this takes place before Batman issue 77.
Right.
I'm like, okay, whatever. That's at least they're trying to do something. And then at the end, that happens. That symbol. Whereas
now it ain't Batman 77 anymore.
Yeah, because that symbol appeared at the end of Batman issue 81. So Batman couldn't possibly be involved in this.
Oops.
Again, you fucked it up. You fucked it up.
DC continuity is a joke right now. We just have to deal with it.
I've been thinking I should just like do a video where I try and like piece it all together.
I'd watch that.
I'd probably just go insane and end up tearing my hair out or something.
Again, you would do the thing we always do as comic book fans where it's like, all right, you know, compressed for time. Maybe this happened in a day. Maybe this happened in a week. But, you know, it's like it had to have happened before or after, but it couldn't happen during. Because that's what we always do when we try and place it.
Yeah.
What else did we have this week, Matt, that we wanted to talk about?
We both reviewed King Thor issue 2.
Yes, again, I put this one up right before we started, and man, just when I thought, you know, Jason Aaron couldn't ratchet it up anymore, he ratchets it up a bit more.
Oh, yeah, he ratchets it up by basically killing Thor and Loki.
Yeah, pretty much. And also having a pretty goddamn good reason as to how Gore the God Butcher is back. I appreciated that.
It was a good reason. It's because of the Necro Sword, and I love that. I love this new Gore, how he's basically just fuck it all. Fuck killing gods. I'm just gonna like murder everyone in the universe and let the gods watch. So the gods won't have anyone to pray to. Have anyone praying to them, basically.
He also becomes a hypocrite too. It's like the universe is bad and broken, and sentient beings will always become addicted to divinity. So, you know, I'm just gonna kill everyone and start over and just sit back and do nothing. I'm like, well, then you'd still be a god, Gore. You would just be a shitty god who did nothing, the very type of gods you complained about. And I'm like, oh, that's right. You're also crazy, so you don't see that you're a hypocrite.
Yeah, he's a crazy naked man in space.
Love that. Which Loki even says, you stupid caveman who found a magic rock. Hey, the fact, too, that, you know, he could live inside the all-black sword makes a ton of sense, too, because it's a symbiote, and it joined with him, which means that this is probably Gore's codex we're seeing, and this actually gels with what's going on in Absolute Carnage.
Yeah, so, again, we go from DC, where they don't know what they're doing week from week, where Marvel, it's all sort of, like, falling into place.
And I mean, they had every reason for this not to make sense, because when Jason Aaron invented the All Black, he never intended it to be connected to Null or the symbiotes and anything. That was a Donny Cates collaboration, and now he's actually kind of paying it back. Yeah,
he's again, this is what happens when your writers correspond with one another and talk with one another.
Can we talk about the Anaya Blade?
The awesome anime weapon.
I love that we have just gone pure anime now. I am Gore. My blade will pierce the heavens and cut planets in half. And Thor's like, fuck you, I'm gonna throw 3 supernovas at you. And I'm like, we're anime now. We are just at the anime level right now.
And I'm all fine for it.
I'm totally cool with this too. Maybe all the power scalers will have something to not complain about now. It's like, look, are you happy he's throwing suns? Are you happy? Probably not, but you know, it's there. And to bring it back to the whole relationship between the two brothers, Thor and Loki, to have this whole, like, to have it be a really tragic story where Loki's like, no, I didn't bring Gore back because I didn't think I couldn't kill you. It's because I knew I could kill you, but that would break my heart and make me sad, and I would never be able to kill myself because I'm an egomaniac. But now Gore has fucked up my program, so I guess we both get to die together at the same time. Yeah. And that Thor's just like, Urgh.
Yeah, he gets his arms cut off and everything, and then Thor gets a great moment at the end there where he's like, oh, I kind of lied to you about like what Ferreyra said about you. She never gave up hope and knew you'd be the one to like save the universe.
I love that, which again, bringing it all the way back to what Jason Aaron had written originally, where, Loki pretends to assassinate his mother actually to save her. Mm-hmm. That's a whole big thing. I know some people have... one of the only complaints that like I will actually kind of go like, yeah, you have a little point there, is with Aaron's treatment of Loki throughout his run, because Al Ewing had did a run and turned him into a hero after the movie, and then that book got canceled, and Aaron's like, no, he's a bad guy again because he needs to be a bad guy for my story. And they're like, well, isn't that like really backtracking his character development? Yeah, but now we're getting it again, and it's like, no, Loki still has a chance to be a hero by his own hands at the end of all of this.
Yeah. It's great. It's great they managed to like fix that.
Yeah.
Really? Where if it was handled by anyone else, it wouldn't have been.
Definitely. Man, I worry about Donny Cates there. You know, he's got to be shaking in his shoes a little bit. Like, how do I top throwing suns? And annihilate. Yeah, how does anything I do not feel like a step back? But no, is good shit. King Thor continues to be really awesome, and a really fitting full circle finale for Aaron's time on Thor.
Totally.
Almost a decade.
Almost.
But yeah. Oh, I guess from one cosmic Marvel story to another, I had Immortal Hulk this week.
Ooh, do tell.
This was a mindfuck of an issue.
Yeah?
Yeah, this was a total mindfuck. It's like Al Ewing was like, okay, so I got you with this horror-themed Hulk thing. We did our fun little Absolute Carnage crossover. I got you by the short and curlies and everything. Well, let's jump billions of years into the future now.
Ooh, okay.
Everyone is dead except for 2 weird satellite aliens.
Okay.
Who were in love at one point, but something broke them up. Also, there's weird monster eggs that are clearly evil, and one satellite doesn't have a problem with them, but the other satellite totally does. And the reason everyone is dead in the universe is because they've all been, They've all been broken. The universes have been broken by the Universe Breaker Hulk.
Oh, Jesus.
Because Hulk, as you'll remember, ate the sentience of the universe, which is God. He ate God.
I really want to read this book now.
Man, this book, I tell you, he ate God, and now he's going around clotheslining planets and breaking them like they were glass.
He's tombstoning them into each other. And...
he's literally like nothing can stop him, and his eyes are glowing, and it's this like horrible like cosmic horror, and you're like, well, is anything left of Banner even in there anymore? And like one of the satellites gets up to him, and it's like, no, he's all gone. It's the one below all. It's the devil. The devil is living in the Hulk now and using his body to continue to spread misery and corruption throughout the universe, throughout like the future.
Wow.
And he's like this, and he's even getting like more twisted and more body horror. And like, yeah, it's the devil. And it's like, oh, so everything's fucked and everything's bad. Is there any silver lining here? Kind of. Out of the blue, and again, we don't know at what point in time this takes place because time is a flat circle in this series. Mm-hmm. The leader shows up again, the only big Hulk foe who we haven't seen. And he's doing an autopsy on one of the weird bug creatures that probably came from one of the evil eggs. And he opens it up, and there's like a memory drive in there of the satellite aliens talking about the future and how Hulk is going to destroy everything.
Oh, Jesus.
So, like, only the leader can stop the devil and Hulk now?
Wow.
Yeah. I would have loved to have been in the elevator pitch for Al Ewing, to where it's like, okay, so Hulk gets possessed by the devil and destroys the future. Also, hey, Nate Daniels, thank you for following. I just saw that.
Yes.
Hey.
I got alerted thanks to the loud Rich Evans noise I put on there.
Oh, I wish I knew how to put custom shit on there. I haven't put custom shit on my own.
It's very easy.
You'll have to show me how to do that, because there's a lot of funny noises I want. What is the Rich Evans noise? I have
just him going, "Oh my god,
oh my god." I want to get like something like really stupid and obscure, like the Asian guy from Heroes, yatta, because that's a funny noise that makes me smile and that I still remember all these years later. But yeah, so Hulk is fucking nuts.
That sounds amazing. I need to read that book.
This is the most like Jack Kirby ass shit, where it's like I read this and I'm like, I am not nearly stoned enough to truly appreciate this.
Oh jeez.
The satellites love each other so much. Why can't they be together? Why do you do this, Devil Hulk? Why do you pull the satellites apart? But yeah, that's some good shit. What else did you have, Matt?
I had Action Comics issue 1016.
Okay, this is where I get to shut up and listen, because I've stopped reading Superman. So do tell.
So most of this issue is basically Trish Q, that woman who was trying to find out why Lois was cheating on Superman but never did. Trying to track down what happened between the fight between Red Cloud and Superman, and she's like asking people. It's actually quite good. She's like talking to people who saw the fight, and then we get to see the fight. And the general consensus is Superman was actually getting his ass whooped by the overpowered Red Cloud, because it's a cloud. It can go inside him and fuck him up.
But Apex Lex upgraded her, right? Because before, Superman fought her and actually won by blowing really hard away.
And then something happened and no one knew what it was, because it was a bright light. And then we find out what happened, and we learned that Naomi joined him, and Naomi like got a quick hit in on the villain and made her like sort of give Superman a chance to dissipate her with his heat vision. And then the rest of the issues basically, it was kind of set up for Naomi season 2, where they return to Naomi's home in Oregon, and they talk with her mother and everything. And Batman's like, "Be careful with them alpha powers, because they can make you lazy and arrogant." It's actually quite cool. It's like, talk with Superman and everything. These powers, don't use them as a crutch. They'll make you lazy.
Interesting.
And Star Labs sets up like a base there to like study the dimensional rift in Naomi's homeworld, and it's like, yeah, this is just all set up for season 2 of Naomi.
So basically, Bendis is like, I like my new character. I'm not done writing my new character yet. Everyone look at my new character.
I'm actually fine with that, because Naomi was a damn good book, and it was probably because
that's what I've heard.
It's probably because he had a second writer with him.
David F. Walker, truly underrated comic scribe right now, man, does not get enough love, and just a true gentleman on top of being a good writer.
Yeah, and then that was it basically.
Yeah. That actually, of all the Superman stuff, that sounds like something that wouldn't make me quit.
Yeah, and then like at the end, obviously we get like the whole thing with like the symbol and the Invisible Mafia being like, okay, we shouldn't be, because of Red Cloud's actions, we're no longer invisible, so it's time to start like showing Metropolis what we are. So something's going on with them.
So a visible mafia.
Yes, a mafia, if you will.
Even though they basically said our only strength is that Superman can never see what we're doing. So that's how we stay in power.
They're basically like, fuck that.
Because, like, what's stopping Superman from just, like, arresting you all in one day? He can do that. So, yeah, that was that. What else did I have here? I guess from Superman to Black Adam, I had that this week, and boy, I did not enjoy this issue.
Really?
No, I thought this one was very, very dumb, and actually a pretty poor, introduction to people for Black Adam, because he's kind of a dumbass in this book.
I read this one as well, and I do agree with that. I do think he was quite the dumbass throughout this issue.
Also, poorly timed. I understand it's like, hey, you're the villain, take a ride with some of these villains and learn how sympathetic they can be. Yeah, maybe in 2019, a totalitarian dictator isn't everyone's cup of tea right now. And literally, the villain, who turns out to be the Shazam who laughs, who shows up here out of frickin' nowhere, is like, hey, Kondakis, you should rebel because you want, like, McDonald's and internet and designer jeans. And the Kondakis are like, no. And Black Adam's big moment is, how dare you tell my subjects about the opulence of the West? Get out of here.
Yes, it corrupts people. Yeah.
And I'm like, who is the bad guy here?
The whole thing
monster,
the whole thing is about freedom, with these generals wanting like some freedom for the people, and you get the old Black Adam stuff where it's like, oh, what is freedom? Is it the people? Is it me? And then by the end he's like, oh, it's really the people. They have the freedom and the power, but they don't.
That rang so hollow to me. He's like, thank you, humans, for laying down your lives to protect my regime, because I told you to, and I'll kill you if you don't. And also, oh, you got hurt. I feel so bad for you. I have learned nothing and will do nothing to enrich your lives, but thanks. I'm going to go back to my temple and fuck around and do nothing until the universe needs me again, or until that Rock movie comes out.
It's like that masked tuxedo meme. It's like, and I did nothing. And it just takes off into the night.
It's even more infuriating, too, because this issue actually tries to, as we said, tie together some continuity, because Black Adam's aides are like, hey, Leviathan's being mysterious, and Apex Lex giving criminals money. It's like, will any of this affect me this issue? No, but we're bringing it up, though.
Yeah, we're just going to tell you about it. Yeah, I thought that was what was going to happen. Like, we're going to see Lex come to him and him tell Lex to, like, fuck off, because he's already got everything he needs.
Yeah. That would have been interesting, where it's like, you try and bribe me, but I am already a king. I am already a god.
Yeah, no, we just get like a fist fight, and then the Shazam who laughs is stopped by the power of prayer, which is never explained. I thought they were going to say like, oh, they had some satellite or something that could... And their like prayers are like the code word that activates it or something.
That was such an ass-pull ending, and then Black Adam acts horribly out of character because you have the depowered Billy Bats, and it's like, oh, is this actually tense for a second? Because what's stopping Black Adam from killing him? Because he kills all his enemies. Yeah. He could perfectly kill him now, but no, he just lets him go for no reason.
Not only that, throughout their fight, he's trying to reason with Billy. I'm like, he wouldn't do that.
No, because Black Adam is always right.
Like you look at the Black Adam who was in like the Shazam recently, and he's like actively trying to kill them.
Yes, I am Law. Two completely different characters, and there's the perfect example of Jeph Johns, who understands the character and knows how to write him, and Paul Jenkins, who's just like, well, this is a fucking job.
Yeah, it's just a one shot. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, it's a one shot. No, it's a one shot that doesn't even connect to anything. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too good, especially after like those really good like Riddler and Joker ones.
Definitely. It's funny, these Year of the Villain one-shots really run the gamut between like, yo, that's some of the best stuff I've read all year, to, wow, I can understand why this character doesn't get more focus.
It's really weird because they put their good writers on books that they should have. Like the Riddler one had like Mark Russell on it, which like makes sense and make it like really good. And like the Joker one, it had like John Carpenter on it, and then they just give like Black Adam, who should be quite popular thanks to like the Shazam movie and stuff within it, they give it to Paul Jenkins.
Who, what has he been doing? This is the first time I read his name in a long time.
Yeah, it's like, really? I remember I mentioned that to someone, and I think in our last stream, they're like, wait, he's still working?
I know, right? I thought the same thing. That literally so felt weird. That felt like a favor he called in somewhere.
Yeah, or like no one wanted it. I was like, I don't have a Shazam story. It's like, I'll give it to this guy.
And maybe no one wanted to touch Black Adam too, because maybe no one wanted to get in between the pissing contest that is Jeph Johns and the rest of DC at the moment, because none of this book gels with what's happening in Shazam right now either.
No, not at all.
No, like it's really, really crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Black Adam. You can skip that one.
Yeah.
What else was there? I had one more book to talk about, and then we've actually talked about everything.
Tell me what it is.
It was Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, I'm behind on this.
This one left me feeling very conflicted because on one hand it was a pretty workman-like story and pretty solid, but then on the other hand, it's also kicking off a brand new 2099 crossover thing that's going to be running through Spider-Man and getting a bunch of tie-ins, and I'm like, I don't want another event.
Was it a continuation from the last issue? Because the last issue was like the Absolute Carnage stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh no, this totally leaves the Absolute Carnage stuff behind.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, we're just back in it now. It's Peter at school. He's at Empire University doing like a group project, and it's actually pretty funny because he meets a kid there who's really into webware, the thing he designed as a CEO.
Okay.
Only this kid is actually like kept it and making it work and everything. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of the design, but I actually made it work now." And Peter's like, "Oh, that was my greatest accomplishment. That wasn't Doc Ock riding my body. Oh." Also, I miss my girlfriend because she's off in a miniseries right now.
Yeah, which I don't know whether I'm going to read or not.
I'm hearing mixed things about it. Some people are saying it's pretty good, but he gets called away by Teresa, who obviously is his super spy sister, and she's still hot on the trail of Chameleon, who's still selling off S.H.I.E.L.D. merch to the highest bidder. And one of those buyers turns out to be, The Foreigner.
Oh, okay.
The famous assassin back from the original Hobgoblin story, the guy who killed Ned Leeds originally.
Yeah, and the guy who was just in Captain America.
Just in Captain America. And, like, Spider-Man has a whole hilarious bit there where he's like, "Oh, hey, I'd love to make fun of you and quip like I do with all my other villains, but I am afraid to call you anything because it might be, it might be defamation."
That's funny.
Yeah, why must you be the Foreigner? And Foreigner's like, "Hey, why I've been gone for decades, Spider-Man, and why I haven't fucked with you? Because I actually like you. I like that you crack jokes and are funny and take this easy. In this line of work, it's easy to get depressed and go crazy."
That's so different to the Foreigner and Captain America, who's like actively trying to kill like Dryad and like Peggy Carter and all that sort of stuff.
This is also Patrick Gleason's first Spider-Man comic too, drawing it.
Oh, nice! I'm definitely gonna read that.
It's an excellent fight scene because Foreigner does this great thing. They're in an alley and it's dark, and he like takes off his jacket, and all you get is like the red security light to light their fight. So it's him and Spider-Man having a big fist fight, and they're both cast in red, and it's really nice.
Oh, that's cool.
It's very artistic. And again, you're probably saying, "But wait, Joel, didn't you say this kicks off a 2099 thing?" Yes, because in the background, Miguel O'Hara has fallen to the present again. To which it's like, well, this isn't a big deal. He comes to the present all the fucking time. He lived here for a long period of time. To which the comic is like, no, it's different this time. It's totally 100% different because Roxxon is behind it.
Oh, good old Roxxon. Can't go a week without something happening with Roxxon.
It's Roxxon, and yet it's not Dario Agger. He's still MIA after the events of War of Realms, which I guess makes sense because he's still like a wanted war criminal and shit.
Yeah.
Even though he weaseled out of it by being rich, and Roxxon's like, "Yes, a man from the future. We're going to cut his brain open and get all the patents out and all the winning lottery numbers and sports almanacs. Because we're evil." And then Miguel O'Hara just being like a crazy person from like the Terminator. It's like, "Oh, the past, the future. I need to tell them about the past, the future. The Doctor Doom 2099, who was actually just Doctor Doom from now, if you know your 2099 lore." And then he like falls out a window. And he's like, "Oh no, I might not be able to tell Peter Parker in time to find out what happens. Read the next 3 issues and also these tie-ins and alphas and omegas." And I'm like, that's a lot of work for 2099.
Yeah, I might fall out of more windows. I don't know.
Who knows? Look, I don't hate 2099. I know people have like a real nostalgia for it, but that was not my era, and I don't have the same warm fuzzies for it.
If anything, I'm going to read... There's like a Punisher 2099, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, and he's getting one of these one-shots, so I'm going to read that.
I think there's also like an Immortal Hulk 2099, and there's there's an Avengers 2099, which actually looks kind of interesting because it's, It's Luke Cage and Jessica Jones's daughter leading an Avengers team in the Old Man Logan wasteland.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, that looks fun. I'm like, but that's Old Man Logan. That's not 2099. You're mixing your futures. It's the next future over, we promise.
It's the one across the way.
It's the one across the way. We can get there. Are you going to put the Maestro's future in there? Actually, they already did. Okay. That they legitimately did in that Old Man Logan book when we stopped reading it. But yeah, the Maestro showed up in Old Man Logan's future.
Oh, jeez.
So all the futures are connected, apparently. There's a grand unifying theory of futures. But yeah, Spider-Man was fine, but it just the tedium hurts me because I'm like, oh god, I don't want to do this.
More crossovers.
I don't want another. I can barely cover what I have now, and I feel like if I don't read these things, I'm not going to understand what happens. And I like Nick Spencer, and I want to support him, but I'm just like, just fucking tell me who Kindred is. Just tell me who Kindred is, or let me keep doing this super spy story with the Chameleon.
Yeah.
Because remember, he swore like bloody revenge after the re-death of Kraven.
Yep. Yeah. And he hasn't done anything. He's just like basically like asked where Nick Fury is, where like some Shield stuff is, and that's it.
Well, he says that he saved the best Shield thing for himself.
Oh, well, what, that mind rape machine or something? Or
I don't know. And maybe we won't know. But that was Spider-Man, and that's everything I read this week.
Yeah, well, I haven't read much anything else, so yeah.
All right, well, there you go. Before we end the show, everyone, because this is a stream and because this is a nice little treat to everyone who shows up, if you got any questions, we've got some answers. And also, thank you, Tevia, for that cheer and filling the cup. As you can see, we have a cup, and for the whole time here we've been doing this, you got 2 subscriptions. I like their little mats, and you got a cheer, which is a little triangle.
I can change them, so I'm probably going to like get like comic multiverse relevant things like Captain America's shields and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. See, again, you're going to have to actually walk me through this, Matt, because you've surpassed me in the streaming. The student has become the master, and now you're doing a better job than me.
Well, Streamlabs makes it easier, so yeah.
I guess so. I when I'm done playing it for myself, I want to play a little stream of the Outer Worlds. I have a whole joke character I want to introduce everyone to. Jesus Messias. He's the guy who tries to solve everything just by talking, man, and being really chill. I make Jesus. That's the joke. I just make Jesus, and he talks his way through everything and tries to non-violent everything. Ooh, favorite Batman story. That's a hard one. Amazing Spider-Man. I know we showered a bunch of love on Long Halloween just recently, so there you go. Let's say that.
Yeah, Long Halloween, Black Mirror.
Ooh, Black Mirror is really, really good. That's a Dick Grayson Batman story.
Yeah, not many of them.
Tevia, do you think Bendis Superman can be saved? Not this long in, I don't, but you know.
If he gets a side rider, maybe. Like a secondary rider.
Which they're saying Rucka is going to be coming on in to do it.
Yeah, and his stuff in Lois Lane is really good.
Do you prefer one-shots or a 2 to 3 miniseries for Elseworlds? Depends, Lich Lord Chris. Some stories deserve to be longer, and some would probably be better if they were shorter.
Depends on the story, yeah.
Yes, Chip Zdarsky is actually writing the Doom 2099 one-shot. Again, I complain about 2099 Space Lord, but I'm probably going to read some of them. I might not cover them, but I'm going to read them because I'm a big hypocrite too. It's fine.
Yeah, and it's Chip Zdarsky. His books are always good.
Yeah. Fan idea for a new Teen Titans comic in your mind? Don't make it a Junior Suicide Squad. That's my idea. Maybe actually make it about teens doing teen things.
Yeah, make it something that people can relate to. Gulags aren't relatable unless you've been in one. In which case, give us your story, please.
Yeah, in which case, I'm sure you have a lot to tell. Crusader Con there, do you think Captain Britain works for Lord Buckethead? If you don't know him, Wikipedia. I do know who Lord Buckethead is, Crusader King. Good joke. Do you know who Lord Buckethead is there, Matt?
I do, yes.
It's worth a Google. KT, the Mary Jane book was all right, but probably should be read when it's completed. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Venom Saber, any idea what I can finally read Nightwing again? Soon, James Tynan says that he wants to try and repair some of the damage done to Nightwing in his Batman, so get ready for that.
Yeah, I imagine that his Batman book is going to be complete damage control in that first arc, I think.
Do we think Superman's identity getting revealed again is a good idea or a bad idea? It's I don't care idea, because I'm not going to read it.
They've done it once, they've done it millions of times, and it always gets reverted by the next crisis, so who cares?
It's a tedious idea.
Yeah.
Thor game based on God of War and Darksiders, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Real cool.
Again, if they do that God of War sequel, I mean, they basically all but say Thor is going to be the villain of that.
Yeah, I'd love to see a villainous Thor.
Definitely. It's very easy to make him into a villain.
Yeah, because all those gods are kind of dicks anyway.
Yes, especially if we do like the actual Norse version of him.
Yeah.
All right then. So that's about it for Q&A time there. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Always very appreciative for everyone showing up. Again, if you're a patron, you'll get to listen to this first before anyone else for as little as $1 a month over on the Patreon page. Mm-hmm. Everyone else, this comes out Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or you can catch us live Sunday, usually around 10 Eastern Standard Time late.
Yeah, we try and do the shows pretty much on the same time every week.
Yeah, and we're usually pretty good about it, barring horrible disaster. But yes, for all 20 plus of you who came out and cheered and subscribed and everything else, always much appreciated. Yes. And we'll just keep trying to give you that great content every week.
Yeah, definitely.
So until next time, everyone, I've been Joel.
I'm Matt.
And we will see you all again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.